All right, so we're going to rewrite sine squared of y over 1 plus cosine of y so it's not in fractional form. So we want to get rid of 1 plus cosine of y. Well, think back to when we talked about radicals. Okay, if I had x squared over 1 minus the square root of x, how would I get rid of that square root of x off the bottom? Do you remember? Multiply by what? No. Conjugate. We would multiply by the conjugate of it, right? And what you do to the bottom, we had to do to the top. Well, it's the same thing here. We want to get rid of 1 plus cosine of y, so we can multiply it by its conjugate. So if what's the conjugate of 1 plus cosine? 1 minus cosine. What you do to the bottom? Do to the top. Alright, so I'm not real sure if it's going to be beneficial to distribute that the sine squared on top, so I'm just going to leave it as sine squared times 1 minus cosine. But I am going to do FOIL on the bottom there.
So we couldn't have done the sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1.
Alright, so if I do this on top, I'm going to keep that as sine squared times 1 minus cosine over, and on bottom I got 1 minus cosine squared. Well, what do we know about 1 minus cosine squared, though? That's sine squared. Now, I'm going to verify that, though, because sometimes we get tricky with the plus and the minuses on it. So real quick, I'm going to come up here to the top. And we said sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1, right? And so if I subtract my cosine squared, yes, my signs are right. Always check those signs because they will try to trick you. Remember, we had one of them already previously where we had to divide it by -1 to make it do what we wanted it to. So we did get sine squared here. Now what can I do? Cross those out. And we get 1 minus cosine of y. And so yeah, there's more than one way to do this. There was actually a shorter way, but this way we still got the right answer. So it's one way to do it.